guys, wait. Hey, I love this glitch. Hey guys, that dude Chris here. Welcome back to another Fortnite live stream today, guys. We are going to be right now. We are standing over Tilted Tower's grave, which I have indeed created. We have glitched back to the Battle Royale island, and today, dudes, we are going to be creating something which I was going to originally hope was going to be the block, and that was going to be okay. I was going to create like sort of an abandoned retail row and hope that would become the block, even though it probably wouldn't become the block. And but then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to Tilted Towers, do another episode of Operation Blast to the Past, and yes, this is another non-roleplay one, dudes. I'm sorry, you guys seem to like the roleplay ones, but still, I'm having fun doing the non-roleplay ones because it takes less time. I get to stream it, and you guys also seem to like that too. So we got the blank template of Tilted Towers here. Also, I could go under Tilted Towers because there is a way I can go under it because there's this glitch where if you fly a plane, whoever who's watching, hello, hope you're having a fantastic day. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab a couple prefabs that would possibly look good in Tilted Towers second version. So we're going to grab a couple retail row buildings and hope that they will look good. So we're going to grab the fish, McGuffins, noms, and yeah, that's what we're going to work with for now. The thing I do not like about these buildings is that they're too small. So, like this building, perfect size. But the other buildings kind of seem to be a bit too small. Like, it's like, look how small that is. Like, let me actually turn down the volume of the stream because I can hear the echo of the stream. I might actually go over to fish and throw down the fish building because, I mean, it'd be pretty funny. Like, fish on fish. I Not even gonna ask how that ended up placing like that, but okay. Still got these. And floating dumpster. And floating trash can. Not even gonna ask how that placed like that. But okay. So this road is sort of blocked off at the back, so if I were to grab, so I'm going to grab some dynamite, which of course I'm going to use for whenever something doesn't place correctly. I need to replace this correctly. So I think I'm going to place it instead of there. I'm going to place it here, so that way it can place a block farther back. See, because then the road would be open, and also if people wanted to cross the street, they'd be able to cross the street in here. Because I know where this abandoned Acme is, dudes, near where I live, and they've got these little pillar things, and right behind it is the doors, but they're barricaded up by the wood. You know how in Retail Row, over there's a building, it's right here. The building, it's boarded up and like basically the lights are off and it's all abandoned. Well, basically what are the odds of that loot placing so perfectly? Like this loot didn't place so perfectly, but what are the odds of the other loot placing so perfectly? Alright, so we already have Noms, McGuffins, and Bass Shop. So McGuffins, Noms, Bass Shop. Now, we're going to grab Big Shots, Detective Agency, Joel's, and also the gazebo here because I might use this as. Never mind. Forgot how large that is. That's gonna be too big. So we're going to grab the Lucky Landing one instead. Because because it'd make more sense, and we're going to have to find the middle ground. Here will be the gas station, because I feel like it'll make most sense to have a gas station there. So go. It's mostly good. Mostly good. We'll get rid of these flowers and stuff. But besides that, that building placed perfectly. I should have placed it one over. Would have made more sense. But yeah. Placed it one over more, it would have made sense. One back and one over would have actually made more sense, because then it wouldn't be on the sidewalk. It would have been perfectly... I'm going to do that right now. I am going to make an adjustment to that, because... Alright, so the building exploded. Alright, now... These floating objects are annoying. You know, forget the other ones. Go! Place the same exact way. Nothing I can do to stop it, though. Alright, so, now, we have all the miniature stores that we have here. So, we're going to focus on this side more last. These are going to be the housing buildings here. But, I'm actually going to focus on this area now, because if I build this first... Alright, I was about to say, how was that building so big? Like, just one small building can't be that big. Time to grab the dynamite. Just anytime something doesn't work out correctly, I just have to grab dynamite and blow something up. That's not gonna blow up the next. Good. Yep. Alright. So. That plays perfectly. Except knowing my luck, the next building isn't gonna do that. Oh, it did. That's also kind of surprising. But okay. Alright, so we have 3 of the buildings that we could use for this. So we've basically used all the buildings in Retail Row that are actually stores. So I really feel like I should go to the other side and build something over here that's going to be unique and seen for its own unique creativity. Like that. For example, the placement on that. Spot on perfect right there. Spot on perfect, ladies and gentlemen. This is the lucky house. Then where'd the other one go? Oh, here it is. Alright, so what I'm going to do is okay, there we go. I weirdly loaded them. I'm going to go over here and, like, replace the buildings again. because I feel that placing a building twice would, oh. That time it did merge, but it's not too bad. Could have been worse. Alright. Also, that time it merged too, with both of the buildings. Alright. Well, it's not as good as it is over there, because that one's actually more spaced out. But still, it's better than it could have been. So, now we're going to go do something, building-wise again, but it's going to be slightly different, because you wouldn't normally see sort of like a factory building in a city, because normally you'd expect it to be on the outskirts of like a mountain or something. But this is going to place in a way that it will make sense, because it's sort of like a job industry here that you could have for some sort of translucent work. That would heck even make sense in a building like this. But placing like areas like this, placing a silo wouldn't really make sense, because this is more of a district of respectful acts. So like that, for example, places perfectly. I should have placed it the other way around, but it probably won't really be a big difference walking around. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of this so far. This is only so far, though, that I'm proud of this. My emotions, will probably become mixed and change entirely later, because this gas station, like, this part, it doesn't really make sense to have a pink tree in the corner. But it's the way it's gotta work. And I already know this gas station's gonna just place all wick-wack wrong. Actually, it didn't. I'm decently surprised there on that, because it's just the way the placing looked. It made it look like it was going to place in a way that would kind of add a bit of the different feel to it. And, like, see, this makes sense, because it's a power line substation right here. Power line substation that would kind of make it look more new, I guess we could say. Now, here's what I'm going to be worried about, placing this clock tower here. Now, here we got lucky, as you can see. No pun intended. But later on, I feel when we're placing this building, we're not going to get as lucky, because just of the way the building is going to place. I already know I'm going to have to use the dynamite on this, because it's going to place exactly. It places the wrong direction. Alright, so instead of facing this way like normal, we'd go over here. Oh, place it like that. Alright. So as we can see right here, this placed the way I didn't want it to. So, when things fail, just blow it up. So, we're going to have to throw it at an angle that's going to be this way, because now see, this is too far away. We gotta place it at the dead-on front deck of it, because then it wouldn't really have that good of a feel, you know? Placed correctly, it just didn't place correctly. Good enough. I think this is not good. Not good at all. we could get better. We could get closer. And we failed again. This is going to be the explosion the same exact way as last time. This time, I need to add that. So that way, it can place like that. And that surprisingly actually looks quite good. I'm not going to lie on that aspect. That actually surprisingly looks good. Like, all these Christmas lights, yes, shouldn't be floating. So the floating ones, I'm getting rid of. But the ones that placed semi-perfectly, I'm not going to get rid of because just the way they placed semi-perfectly. Depending on the aspect ratio of how they placed. Like, if they were to place in sort of a triangular angle that would prevent it from actually looking good, like these floating Christmas lights here. Like, see, these aren't floating. But this, it just makes it look good. Because the building sort of has the rounder feel of something that you would like see in like an industrial area. Alright, so I feel like we should have an aim base or something set up here. Because it just would add a bit more of a homey feel. Because, say here, especially with the way this vending machine places, it places so that we'd have to get rid of the sink, yes, but besides that, it actually placed quite well. And the exterior ground doesn't really intervene with the way it places. And the only way we'd be able to place planes in this area would be like this. So, as you can see there, we can place probably one plane, and that's it, which is kind of the depressing bit, but at least it works. This is also something that I hate, is all these Christmas lights, because they could really get in the way of how you're working. Especially if you place something off, you kind of don't want it to place off, because it could screw up the actual layout of the building, which you don't really want. You have to have the dimensions of the building be spot on perfect, otherwise... See? This placed so perfectly it actually makes sense. Now, this, of course, you'd probably have to get rid of, but you gotta be careful and get rid of this side, because... Actually, you wouldn't be able to get rid of this side either, because they both intervene with each other, so that you would have to, like... That could be used as, like, some sort of a gate, but you can't use it as an actual... building. So, for example, if we were to throw a clock tower down here, which, yes, we're going to get rid of because it doesn't make sense to have two clock towers, then sneak. All right. So here's the new Tilted. We actually did miss a building here, so we're gonna have to add something in. But of course, it's gonna have to make sense. Like, that's not gonna place well because the building's dimensions are a lot larger than the actual width of how it's going to place. So, for example, if we were to place this, like this would actually fit. Like, look at this. That's like almost an entirely perfect fit, but you wouldn't see like this unless if it's in like a military base. Unless if your town has to be like military strictly run. Like strictly run by military law. Then it wouldn't really make sense. Like to have this. Like this is also something that's annoying about this because I gotta run around with freaking remote explosives blowing up half of the industry right here. But alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to place sort of a temporal building that would sort of add a anti not making sense feel because there's not a single house in this area. So I know this isn't really going to make sense to have a house in the middle of a area where there's not really a house necessary. But so this place is how I want it to place. Alright, in order for this to make sense, we're gonna have to get rid of this. Where we can keep the fence here, but all this other crap gotta go. So, as you can see here, we sort of got a small townhome, and of course, because it's snowing in Tilted Towers, it's actually snowing rather heavily today. This car is somewhat it's glitching out between snow covered and non-snow covered. Um, so here we go. Here's the new Tilted Towers. How'd you guys like it? You like it? You dislike it? I'm gonna take a picture of this because pictures last longer. Alright, so let's go over the areas of this Tilted Towers remake because I don't think people ever really get to remake Tilted Towers unless if they because I don't think people the only reason why People, I think mostly the reason why people glitch back to Spawn Island is to destroy places, not really destroy and then remake. They just destroy and or play mini games or something. Um, so we did kind of forget a building right back here. So let's quickly cover this up with something. Any sort of a one-by-one building, so this is as close as we're gonna get to a one-by-one. That placement is so dead on perfect. It's unreal. Alright, so over here we have sort of the Lucky Landing-esque area. Should probably get rid of that dragon, because it wouldn't really make sense. So we got the Lucky Landing-esque area over here. This would be like the small little gazebo hangout area, and like where New Year celebrations would take place. Right here, fish shop / the best store. That's really annoying. Ignore that. That's also really annoying. Ignore that. We got the gas station over here, which is pretty cool because it's located right next to a power line / the city's power, or town's power rather. Right here we got a couple of stores. Let's see. These buildings they actually merged. This desk doesn't really make sense. But these buildings actually merged. These two buildings merged so darn perfectly. It doesn't even look like there was a mistake made in this. Like, you could get in through both of these entrances, or exits, through just one door. Now, the second door doesn't really make much sense because it's just a building which merges together a bar with a bathroom. And it's got a couple TVs in here, which doesn't really make sense, so let's kind of get rid of that. This could somewhat make sense, I guess, because this could be like a storage bathroom. These dumpsters are okay the way they are. And then this could be like the smaller building, and this could be, like where you watch like a football game or something. You could sit here. People could throw darts at a dartboard. You could ignore this floor because it is really annoying. There are no trucks or cars or vehicles in this area, mostly because I destroyed them. But the only vehicles in this area are shopping carts and golf carts, and also the one plane that is down there. So we've gone over this area. Now, over here is sort of more of the, dare I say, party zone. Like this could be used as more of a party-ish building. Or like some sort of getaway mansion. Because it's just the way it looks. It looks like you would use this area as like a mansion, basically. This area technically is a mansion. Because you got the living room here, upstairs bedroom, the back kitchen, dining room in there. You got the bathroom down here with a gun in it. Does that make sense? And then you got sort of the outdoor meeting area in here, like you could park a car in here or something. And then you got this sort of stationary shop right here. Let's see, over here you got sort of the work industry / the industrial zones right here. As you can see, smoke would be like billowing out of that. I could put like a campfire down. Might actually do that. Because you can't fire down here. Imagine smoke was billowing out of that chimney right there. And then, of course, we got the factory building right here. Which is pretty cool. So you could use this little campfire residue area as the smoker. You got a bit of smoke coming out of it. You can barely see it because of how bright the sky is. Right here you got the only house, except for this, excluding this, in this entire area. Also excluding that. So you got a couple of buildings here where you could live. So right here, this could be like used as like the little mobile home, or not the mobile home, sort of a hotel area because we got the parking that goes well here. Right here we got the clock tower building, which could also be used as the New Year's party area. People could be standing over there or over here, and looking over here at the clock and saying, "Hey, look, it's almost New Year's." Or Chinese New Year, or whatever kind of New Year. Here we sort of got the little food restaurant area where you could. This is a restaurant slash a shop. So you could use this as sort of a shop where you could get your nice fresh meat over here. You got some bass in here, some salmon. We got a special offer of chicken in there, it looks like. I love actually the tentative detail that goes into all this. I know it's just repeats all along, but still, detail is just great. This doesn't really have that much detail, so it's kind of boring. And I love how they actually have the signs here that show you what's where and how you're going to get it. So, and then right back here would be where the truck would come in and deliver. So, like, the truck could pull in there, this small parking area right here, then drop off the food in here. So, and then of course, if you want to eat, you go up here, eat or sit down, look out, because there's a nice view up here. You get a view of a rift, you get a view of a little bridge, so if someone were to drive off and commit suicide, they would either fly into the rift, or they would fail and come crashing down on the sidewalk right in front of you. So, it seems that new guy has joined us. Right here you got another shopping area right here, MacGuffin's bookstore. So you could come in here, shop for some books. And that's pretty cool. So, under here, just nothing, basically. I should have put something under there, but, yeah, didn't think of anything. So, we got big shots here, all these buildings. This is the building where half the bar was only used, except this time the full bar is used. And then we got the detective agency here, with a little bathroom, its own specialized door and everything too. And then in here you got the other building in here. So yeah, then you got the houses over here, and then the plane depot over here. So I gotta say, this is one of my better builds. If only this was enough space for the block, or if this became Tilted Towers, I would like probably cry or something if this were to become Tilted Towers, because if Epic were to give me all the prefabs and tell me, like, give me a blank template, like a 16 by 16 area, or 32 by 32, or 64 by 64 area, that's just blank. And it'd have, like, perfect templates. Like, if it was Tilted Towers, just blank. Loot Lake, blank. Pleasant Park, blank. Dusty Devitt, blank. Dusty Devitt, okay? Blank. Like, anything that would be blank, a blank template. I'd probably build something, out of it that would look really good, like this, for example. Which is quite cool. Copy and cut does not even work on this, which kind of sucks. Alright, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. If you did, punch the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you can stay notified every time I upload a stream, and goodbye, people.